Before the universe existed, before atoms and starlight and time itself, God wrote your name down. That is what the doctrine of election claims. And it is either the most comforting thing in Scripture or the most terrifying. Most people who hear the word predestination either shut down or walk away from faith entirely. They picture a cold God pulling puppet strings, choosing some and rejecting others without reason or love. But what if that picture is completely wrong? And the real doctrine is one of the most beautiful things in the Bible. Stay with me, because by the end, this doctrine should leave you not afraid, but completely undone by grace. So why do we all read it the wrong way? The answer starts with a word most preachers skip right over. The Greek word is eklegomai, to choose out, to select, to single out with purpose and love. Paul uses it in Ephesians chapter 1, and the timing he names is staggering. He says God chose us before the foundation of the world, before creation, before human history, before us. And the very next verse tells us the motive. And it is not power, it is not strategy, it is love. God predestined us for adoption, not servitude, not utility, but to be called his own children. This is not a New Testament idea invented by Paul. It runs all the way back to Deuteronomy. Moses tells Israel, God did not choose you because you were great or many. You were the fewest of all peoples. God set his love on Israel simply because he loved them. Circular, deep, free, unconditional. David writes in Psalm 139 that God saw him before he was formed and recorded his days before any of them existed. And Paul, writing to Timothy near the end of his life, says this grace was given before time even began. This is a theme stitched through the whole Bible. From Genesis to Revelation, God's choice is always first. In Romans chapter 8, Paul gives us what theologians call the golden chain, 5 unbreakable links. Everyone God foreknew, he predestined. Everyone he predestined, he called. Everyone he called, he justified. Everyone he justified, he glorified. Notice what Paul does not say. He does not say, those who chose well, or those who earned it. Here is where most people get it wrong, and it is worth slowing right down. Misconception number 1. Election means your choices don't matter. Picture someone deciding not to jump out of a burning building because, if I'm meant to survive, I'll survive. That is not how divine sovereignty and human choice work. Scripture holds both in the same hand. Jesus himself says in John 6, everyone the Father gives me will come to me, and whoever comes to me, I will never cast out. The Father gives, and they come. Both things are true. Both things are real. Misconception number 2. Election is God playing cold favorites. He loves some and simply ignores others. But look at what Paul actually writes in Romans 9, the passage people use to make God sound cruel. Paul says God's mercy is not owed to anyone. It is freely given, which makes it mercy in the first place. Here is the thing most people miss. The text never says God hates the non-elect. It says he owes no one mercy. If a billionaire gives away $5 million to strangers, we do not say he hates the people he didn't give to. We say he was extraordinarily generous, and the gift tells us everything about the giver. Quick question before we go on. Have you ever felt like God might be cold or arbitrary toward you? Drop a in the comments. Misconception number 3. If God chose before I was born, the gospel invitation is just a performance. But Jesus does not preach like a man going through motions. He weeps over Jerusalem. He hungers for the lost. In John 6:44, Jesus says no one can come unless the Father draws them. And that drawing is real, active, alive. The word draws in Greek, helko, means a pull with force and intention, like a fisherman pulling in a net. The fish do not pull themselves into the net, but when drawn in, every one of them is truly caught. Now here is the original insight, the one that most treatments of this topic completely skip over. Paul in Romans 8 says those God foreknew, he predestined. But foreknew does not simply mean knew in advance. In Hebrew thought, and Paul was a Hebrew scholar, to know is covenantal. It means to love, to enter into intimate relationship. When Genesis says Adam knew his wife Eve, that is the same word. Intimate, personal, relational. So, those whom he foreknew in Romans 8 is better read as those whom he foreloved, set his affection on before time. This changes everything, because it means election is not God filing paperwork, it is God falling in love. And then there is Revelation 13:8, the verse that makes even seasoned theologians pause. John speaks of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, meaning the cross was God's plan before creation began. God did not react to the fall of humanity. He had already written the rescue plan before the fall happened, which means God's love for you was never contingent on your performance. It predates your very existence. But does this mean some people were chosen for hell? This is the hardest question in the whole doctrine. Paul's answer in Romans 11 is not a cold, logical explanation. It is an act of worship. After 3 chapters wrestling with election and Israel and hardening, Paul breaks into song. The right response to the depths of divine election is not a spreadsheet, it is praise. And here is the pastoral heart of this whole doctrine. It was always meant to produce security, not anxiety. If your salvation rested entirely on your own choosing, you would spend your whole life wondering if you chose correctly. But if God chose you, if His sovereign love went first, then your confidence rests on something that cannot change. Your salvation is not a house of cards you built. It is a foundation God laid before time began. So what does this actually mean on a Tuesday morning when everything feels uncertain? It means you do not have to perform your way into God's affection. You are already known. Think about the person who has failed publicly, the divorce, the addiction, the thing everyone saw. Election says, God's love for that person was not canceled by what just happened. It was decided before they were born. Think about the person who doubts, the one who prays and feels nothing and wonders if they ever really believed. If you are even worried that you have not believed enough, that worry itself is evidence the Spirit is at work in you. Think about the parent whose child has walked away from faith, the one who prays alone every night. Election does not mean give up on them. It means your prayers are real, and God's reach is longer than any distance. Think about the person who came to faith late, who spent decades far from God and fears they missed too much. Election says, God's choice was not frustrated by the years you spent away. His timing is part of His design. And think about the new believer, trembling, wondering if it will last, if they will drift and lose it all. Election says, the one who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. That is not your job alone. This doctrine was never meant to be a puzzle that makes you feel small and discarded. It was meant to be an anchor, something you hold on to when everything else in life feels unstable. The Puritans called it the doctrine of grace, and they built entire lives of courage and compassion on top of it. You do not have to be a theologian to live inside the peace this truth provides. You just have to receive it. Before the mountains were formed, before the oceans filled their basins, God saw you, not as data, not as a name in a file, as someone He loved before time had a word for love. That is the doctrine of election, not cold machinery, but the oldest love story ever told. Your faith, however shaky, however new, however battered, did not catch God off guard. He was not surprised by your doubt, your detour, or your darkness. He factored in all of it before the world began. That is not a reason to be passive. It is the most powerful reason to live with open hands and a grateful heart. Paul ends his deepest meditation on election not with a doctrine statement, but with a cry of wonder. Oh, the depth of the riches of His wisdom and knowledge, how unsearchable, how beyond us, how good. If this gave you even a little peace tonight, subscribe and tell me in the comments, which part of this changed something for you? I'll see you in the next one.